Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Ernest Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our video. We're basically halfway through the NFL season, and we still have an undefeated team in the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Minnesota Vikings, they finally went down. They're no longer undefeated, and we have no teams that are winless. Every team has a win this season, but there are still some awful teams in the NFL like the Browns and the Panthers. I'm going to go over every single Week 8 game of the NFL season and see which teams I think will win and see which teams I think will lose. Now, last week I went 10-5 on my predictions, and I am up to 70-37 on the season with my predictions for every single NFL game. Not too bad, trying to keep on improving on that record, and this week does provide some challenges on trying to keep a decent record. Some interesting games. To start out on Thursday Night Football, we got the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams. Minnesota just lost. They're 5-1 on the season now. The Rams are 2-4. They did get a win last week, but it was not all that impressive of a win. I still think that they are a far cry from the Super Bowl team a couple years ago. Matthew Stafford's trying his best to keep the team afloat, but they just aren't playing good enough football. And even though Minnesota, some people are saying that they're overrated, they're not actually that good, I still think they're playing good enough football this season that they're going to win on Thursday Night Football 21-17. Then to move on to the Sunday games, no Sunday morning game, but we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's 3-4. They're starting to get it together. Can they make a playoff push? Philadelphia is 4-2, not playing bad football this season. Some people would still say that they're overrated as well, but I think overall they have been a pretty solid surprise so far this season, especially considering the way that they ended their season last year. But you could say that, hey, they're starting out the season well this year, then they'll fall apart by the end of the season. Only time will tell. I think Philadelphia's playing better than Cincinnati right now. I'll go with a 20-17 win for the Eagles, but it wouldn't shock me if Cincinnati won because they're at home and they're playing better, but I'm going to go with Philly. And we got the Ravens traveling to the Browns. The Browns are a joke right now. Deshaun Watson is out for the season. Some people are saying is at the end of his career. Give me Baltimore to win 30-14. Then we got the Titans traveling to the Lions. This is another easy game. The Titans are 1-5, playing terrible football, and the Lions just dethroned the Minnesota Vikings. I think that Detroit should easily be able to win on their own field, 28-14. Then we got the Cardinals traveling to the Dolphins. Now, on paper, you'd be like, the Cardinals should win. No Tua. The Dolphins are struggling, but it looks like Tua might play. Now, all this hinges on whether he does or not on me picking the Dolphins. I'm going to go with Miami to beat the Cardinals 20-17. Even though Arizona did win against the Chargers on Monday Night Football, they barely won that game. Still struggling overall as a team, but they are trying to get better. Miami with Tua is a completely different team. If he's able to play, I think the Dolphins should be able to win. Then you got the New York Jets traveling to the New England Patriots. Both teams are a disaster. The Patriots are 1-6, and they just got destroyed by the Jaguars, so they're not a good team. The Jets, though, even though they're having an awful season, Aaron Rodgers is still the experienced quarterback here, and I do think that they should be able to beat one of the worst teams in the NFL and the Patriots. Give me the Jets to knock off New England 20-14. And we got a big NFC South matchup with the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Tampa Bay Bucks. This game's going to go a long way in deciding who's going to win the NFC South. Since the Saints have faded and the Panthers are terrible, these two teams are going to have the best chance to win that division. And when you look at the Falcons, they are a team that did not look too good last week against the Seattle Seahawks, but overall this season they played pretty well. The Bucks, however, even though they have been able to get some decent wins this season, just got shellacked by the Baltimore Ravens, so both teams are kind of limping into this game. I don't know. It's kind of one of those deals where both teams are about even. Give me the home field advantage to be the difference. I'm going to go with the Bucks to beat the Falcons 21-20. Then we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Jaguars. Green Bay is playing great football. They just got a big win last week over the Texans. That was a shocking win, but you cannot doubt Green Bay at this point with Jordan Love. They are playing great football. Even when they had Malik Willis in there, he was doing well, but now Jordan Love is back. The Jaguars did get a win last week. Still slim chance to get their season turned around, but Trevor Lawrence and the team just isn't playing that well. I do think that the Green Bay Packers should beat the Jaguars 28-14. Then in our final 1 o'clock game, we got the Colts traveling to the Texans. The Colts are surprisingly 4-3. They've won a lot of close matchups against some bad teams in the NFL, so I still don't think they're a great team. Texans just lost to Green Bay. Not a bad loss, though. It's at home. C.J. Stroud still playing really good football. Give me the Texans to beat the Colts 24-17. But I think the Colts will keep it close since they have been playing a little bit better than expected coming into the season. Then you got the Saints traveling to the Chargers. The Saints have been an absolute disaster the last few weeks in the NFL. Started out 2-0. They've lost their last 5 games. The Chargers are 3-3, still having some growing pains with Harbaugh and Herbert. The tandem is still not getting it together completely. But I think with time, they will get better as a team. It's going to take some time. They probably need to make some trades. But New Orleans, they've been awful. And no matter whether they've been on the road or at home the last few weeks, they can't get a win. I'm going to go with the Chargers to beat the Saints 21-14. Then you got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Seattle Seahawks. This is a big game. Seattle had lost their last 3 games until last week. They finally got it together, getting a huge win. And the Bills have been rolling at 5-2 right now, playing some of the best football of any team in the NFL for the most part. This is an interesting game to pick because of the fact that Seattle is a tough place to play, and they are tough to beat at home, and they have a really talented team. I still think Geno Smith holds them back a bit, but they do have a good offense. Buffalo with Josh Allen, they've been getting it rolling. I'm going to go with the Bills to beat the Seattle Seahawks 21-17, but this is definitely a toss-up game. And you got the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are not a great team, but Bo Nix is trying. The team is showing some life, whereas the Panthers are a joke. Every week it's the same. They're always bad. Yeah, they got that win over the Raiders, but other than that, they've been terrible, whether it's been Andy Dalton or Bryce Young. And people are giving Dave Canellis flack for saying we're sticking with Andy Dalton. It's not going to matter. If Bryce Young was in, it would be even worse. So I'm going to go with the Broncos to beat the Panthers 21-14. Since the Broncos aren't great, I think it will be slightly a close game, but Denver should win. Then you got the Chiefs traveling to the Raiders. And you would say Chiefs should win easily, right? But last year, the Chiefs did lose to the Raiders. So got to watch out for that. I think the Raiders will give them a game because of that fact. They believe that, hey, we can beat the Chiefs. We already did it last year, but the Chiefs are undefeated. They are going to lose eventually, you would think, but I don't think it's going to be in this game. They're playing too good of football. Give me the Chiefs to beat the Raiders 24-14. And you got the Bears traveling to the Commanders. This is a solid game here. The Bears are coming off a bye. They are 4-2 on the season, playing pretty well. The Commanders are 5-2, even though they destroyed the Panthers this past week 40-7, which is not a surprise. The Panthers are that bad of a team. I still don't think Washington's one of the best teams in the NFL, but they are playing well enough to be considered a top half team for sure, maybe even a top 10 team. It's just a little bit early to say that they are among the elite in the NFL now, especially with a rookie quarterback in Jane Daniels, but you got to give Jane Daniels his props. He's playing great football, and I don't think the Bears are going to be able to slow him down in this game. Give me the Commanders to beat the Bears 20-17. Then we got a massive matchup on Sunday Night Football with the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers, the two of the biggest brands in the NFL. The Cowboys are 3-3, coming off of a bye. What does Mike McCarthy have to be able to turn around the Cowboys after a disastrous start to the season? San Fran is 3-4. They are struggling as well. They just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. They are at home, but they got a ton of injuries right now. Brandon Ayuk is hurt. Unfortunately, Deebo Samuel is hurt. They got a lot of props. Christian McCaffrey's missed the season so far. So you would think Dallas can win, but Dallas is playing terrible football. Unless they have regrouped during the bye week to be able to turn things around and they get their focus right. Dak's playing well. The defense is playing well. I just don't see it, though. They're playing really bad football. Give me San Fran, despite the injuries, to beat Dallas 21-20 on Sunday Night Football for Cowboys fans to call for Mike McCarthy's head. Then on Monday Night Football, you got the Giants travel to the Steelers. The Giants are 2-5. They got a really great defense, but their offense is terrible. The Steelers are 5-2. Now they switched from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson, and things are still rolling for the Steelers. They've been a surprise team this season, playing very solid football. I think with the Steelers being at home, and they do have a really solid offense, actually, for the first time in what feels like forever, even though the Giants do have a really good defense, the Giants cannot score, and the Steelers defense is good enough to prevent that Giants offense from doing anything. Give me the Steelers to beat the Giants 21-10. Now, those are my picks for every single Week 8 game of the NFL season. Got some really solid matchups. Looking forward to Dallas and San Fran and seeing which fan base is going to melt down with a loss. The Bears and Commanders is a really good game. I also like that Bills-Seattle matchup and the Colts and Texans. Looking forward to these games this week, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Which teams are going to win this week and which teams are going to lose, and whether you agree or disagree with my picks. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next time.